Hey there guys, welcome to the kitchen on our little hilltop farmhouse. Today it's spring and I have been really trying to get out a carrot cake recipe for you. We are looking forward to Easter here. It's just the time I'm making this video, it's a couple weeks away. So it'll probably be even closer when this video gets out. And I wanted to get this recipe out so that you could have some great ideas for any Easter gatherings as well as for the rest of the spring, summertime, because carrot cake is great when spring comes. And right now it is super rainy outside and it has been cold and rainy for a while. I'm really looking forward to the sunshine, but introducing these springtime foods really helps me to just look forward to the sun that I know is to come. So as always, I invite you to look on the blog, Hilltop in the Valley, and you can find this recipe there. You can print it out and you'll have it in front of you for when you make this yourself.
I like to make this cake overnight. So the night before I start the ingredients, and this means an active sourdough starter. Make sure that you're feeding it during that day so that it is nice and bubbly when you go to make the cake in the evening time. You will also need your sugar, and rich sugars work best for this recipe. Either a rich brown, a maple sugar, coconut sugar. I am using sucanat because that's what I have, but honestly, I think a coconut sugar is about the best sugar that you could use for this recipe. And you just really want to get that deep flavor into this recipe. It'll make it even better to have that deep, dark, sugary flavor in with it. You'll use 2 cups of whole grain einkorn flour. You'll put in your cinnamon, salt, and a whopping 1 1/4 cups of extra virgin olive oil. Yep, this recipe uses a lot of oil. Make sure you source your oils from a pure source, as oils do hold toxins in them. You might be trying to get the clean organic produce, but there's actually a lot of toxins that will be stored in fat. So this is one reason why when you get things like your olive oil, you'd want to get organic. Hence, I got this large gallon size from my favorite monthly pickup, Azure Standard. They have some great prices on their bulk foods that have the pure sourcing, and I always like to get my oils such as the coconut oil in a really large quantity from them because I use that quite a bit, as well as this olive oil. This is also a great price when you get that large size. I mix these all together and cover with a wet tea towel, and we're just going to sit that. We'll sit that on the counter until morning, and then we will come back and finish this cake.
So it is the next morning. I started my cake batter the night before and I let it sit all night, and now I've got it all ready to go, and we're going to get started and get this thing done so that we can have it and go ahead and get the frosting on and everything today. We're going to go ahead and use my mixer for this. I really recommend using a mixer because, let's see if I can focus this. I really recommend using the mixer because we're going to be mixing up separated eggs, and so we want to use the eggs whites and make them into kind of like a meringue. And so you'll want a mixer or to have some really hefty arm power in order to do this. So I've got my mixer on the counter. We're going to go ahead and start grating up our eggs, and then we're going to go ahead and start grating up the carrots, and then we will go ahead and do our eggs in the mixer. So let's get started.
All right, the next morning, we will grate out our carrots and separate our eggs. This is what makes the carrot cake a carrot cake, right? When you see all of those little pieces of carrot gratings on your counter. If you have to leave the batter out for more than 12 hours overnight, put it in the fridge. And I personally don't have experience with what it does after 12 hours. And if you know me, you know I'm not exact with these numbers of leaving things out for so long. You just want to make sure that, if it's longer than 12 hours you're putting in the fridge. I usually get to mine around 10 or 11 hours later. So just make sure that you stay within that range. When you're grating your carrot, be sure to press the carrot down a bit as you are grating it, because there will be a lot of air inside of all of those carrot gratings. When separating the eggs, remember it's more important to keep the yellow yolk out of the white than the white out of the yolk. I'm not going to fuss if a little bit of egg white gets in my yolk bowl. That's not going to cause a problem. But I do want pure egg whites for a fluffy mix. And what we're going to do with those is make them kind of like a meringue. You'll beat your egg whites until they are stiff. So just pretend you're making a lemon meringue pie or something. But we're not really. We're just wanting that meringue fluff to develop. This takes about 3 minutes on high, and stiff peaks mean that the moisture is gone and the eggs will actually hold together, kind of like whipped cream. It's very fun to watch, especially for kids. Now I will mix in to the batter that has sat out overnight the carrot and the egg yolks. And then once those are mixed, finally the egg whites on top. I like to sprinkle my baking soda and baking powder over the whites before gently pulling everything together. So exciting. And now we'll bake this in your pan for 55 to 70 minutes. I give a range because depending on the pan, depending on exactly how much moisture is in your batter, it can be different. But remember, this is baked at a lower temperature and baked for longer. And believe me, this will come out with such wonderful moisture. It will be worth it. am using a 6-inch round pan, and I'm doing 2 of them, so I will have a little bit of extra batter, and I'll probably just put that into like a muffin tin or something. I've also tried this recipe using the normal 9 by 13-inch cake pan, and both will work. But just know my 6-inch round pans will leave some batter. Making a decoration for the top can be done by using parsley from the herb garden and whittling a carrot down to size. If you've got an older kid, this might be fun for them to do as well. The frosting is extra special in this recipe. I love cream cheese frosting, but this one has a special tart flavor because instead of using lemon juice with the cream cheese, I drop a couple teaspoons of lime juice. And man, you will not be disappointed with this. I just love that extra flavor that it adds. I love that extra taste. remember when I was a kid, my mom making a recipe quite similar to this for my older brother every single year. He had a March birthday just inside of springtime. And so whenever I see carrot cake, of course, this is what it reminds me of. But maybe for you, it reminds you of the Easter season. Maybe it reminds you of springtime or someone else's birthday who also loved carrot cake. But I hope you guys enjoy this recipe. Remember that you can find the whole recipe, the printable version, and extra tips on the blog Hilltop in the Valley. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel so you can follow along and get all of the recipes and videos that I put out. Thank you for following along today. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Easter season and springtime, and I will see you again soon.